2020, 3 p.m. I'm calling the BEDC to order. I think the first thing we'll do is check in with Angela. Oh, let's take roll. Ron Spencer.
Here.
Kevin. I don't think he's
Here.
in. He's coming in person, right?
Here.
Charles. I see Charles.
Here.
Bill.
Here.
Yeah, Bill's here.
Connie. I saw Connie at some point. Sam.
I'm here.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and myself. So we
Yeah,
do
I'm
have
here,
a quorum.
Catherine.
Angela, we'll come to you first. Do we have any public comments?
We do not have any public comments today.
All right, thank you. All right, moving into regular business and presentations. 3.1, approval of meeting minutes from the BDC board meeting of October 19th, 2020.
Move to approve.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Yeah, I move to accept the minutes of the October 19th meeting minutes from last month.
Thank you, Ron. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, moving on. All those approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it passes unanimously. 3.2, acceptance of October 2020 financial report provided by the City of Bastrop Chief Financial Officer and presented by CEO Cameron Cox. Cameron, do you have any comments to make on it before I turn to Sam?
I just want to do a test real quick. Can you guys hear me?
There's a lot of echo.
Okay, and what about, can we just do a test to see if you can hear each person up here?
Yeah, Catherine, I don't think you can hear me, this Connie.
Gene can.
So Jean's saying
Jean-
yes,
Jean-
Kathy Merrifield's saying no, and Catherine's not saying much. Ron
There's
Spencer.
just a lot of echo. It's not, it's going to be hard to follow a full 3 hours of conversation this way. We could get away with 10 minutes of it, but I don't think we can get away with 3 hours.
I think it's your speaker is capturing everything in the whole room.
Okay.
Maybe if that's turned on or turned off like these are. What about now?
Colin, do you have any suggestions?
We can spend a moment to kind of experiment a little bit. I've been kind of turning things up for the sake of getting in as much as possible, but I may dial back from that and maybe create some of this echo. I like that suggestion that the podium mic maybe catching things like a second time around. So I think Cameron toggling it on and off when you speak. So if we can keep doing this test for about 30 more seconds, make everything down a little bit.
Colin, would it be possibly helpful if Cameron got on the dais and used a mic that he was turning on and off?
Just say possibly, I could agree with possibly.
Okay.
Was that, okay, is it better with the mic off? Can you guys hear everything better that way for them, not for me?
Yeah, it sounds better to me.
And-
Still got some echo. There's still some echo here.
I think the best way to do this, maybe to log in with my computer, have my computer face all of us. I'll get at the dais, and then we're live talking into my computer, into the live feed instead of on the these and these. Maybe.
Maybe.
Let me just try it. Those make my life easier, Jamie. Oh, he has, trust me.
It's gonna be further away.
Mhm.
Is that with the echo or without the echo?
With the echo.
Well, we like the echo, right? How about one of these mics? How's that?
So is it better or worse now with this setup, let's say?
You've gone mute.
Is it better? Okay, let's turn them.
Speakers off in here. Let's turn the speakers off in here. Hold on. I don't know if that is that. Because I'm sitting in this Facebook too, and I need that signal alive. And then we won't be able to hear what they say. So you,
When you have city council meetings, we don't get an echo.
no, the difference is we have, in city council, one person's at home, and here we have multiple. Are the speakers off in here? Well, they are not, but if that comes to, then you won't hear them.
Then you want.
That's not gonna work.
Like we hear Colin really clear, or at least I do,
Yeah.
but everybody else has an echo.
Yeah, I'm very close to this camera that y'all are, it is your pickup point from the whole room. And I'm also not through a mic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Little bit.
Maybe we should all speak up. Yeah, why don't we just talk loud?
Mark,
Yeah, all at home. I mean, our options are push through it. It's gonna be a very long meeting, 2.5, 3 hours. Inviting everybody in here, or we do it all virtual. What are we gonna do with the We'll have to reschedule all of that. No, we can't. Because, yeah, we have to stay in this room.
But the difference with executive session is Colin doesn't have to stream Facebook in executive session.
Right, I can do my computer and everybody from my computer, we can all, that's in this room, I can put it on the table, distance ourselves and have that discussion, yes. But we can't, but for public input, we're gonna be in this situation. The public input probably 20 minutes. Yes. Okay, and maybe while we're in executive session, I can try and figure this out as well, so that if we do need more public discussion after executive session, we can see if we can do that. Our attorney, does that work for you?
So did Robin, did you hear a camera set up?
No, I didn't hear. I heard something about attorney. And then I saw waving.
Does everybody have a computer with them that they can just call in?
So if we do that, it's gonna echo in here because of the speakers for the Facebook. So we can't do that. This is the best we can do for the meeting. We're in it. For the public part, not for executive session. Because we don't need the speakers for executive session that are
All right, well, let's do what we can get done, out of, a couple of these items, and then go into executive session. If you can't hear, or if you want something repeated, raise your hand, speak up. And we'll go from there. So Cameron, I think you wanted to say something about the financial for 3.2. Yeah.
So there's always a feedback, yeah. There's always going to be a feedback. There's always a little bit of feedback. The speakers, as long as the speakers are on and here for the live feed, we'll have feedback, regardless of what the setup is. That's correct.
Okay, so if you can hear me, I think I would like a motion for the financials, and then I will turn it over to Jimmy Crouch, if you can hear me, Chair, and let him do his report. It's brief.
Okay, I thought you wanted to, were you just doing a test? You weren't actually going to comment on financials?
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. Do I have a motion for accepting the financials for October 2020?
Yeah, I move that we accept the financials from October 2020.
Second. All right, all those approved? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 3.3, update on 921 Main Street project by project manager Jimmy Crouch. And I'm assuming you're on a computer somewhere, right, Jimmy?
Yes, he's behind me.
Oh, is he there? Hmm.
Okay, as long as y'all are distracted, that's fine. So, the biggest thing for the 921 building was we had a delay, and it's all related to the COVID pandemic. So we had some delays as far as moving in. We really wanted to shoot for November the 6th as our unofficial turnover. We weren't able to do that because we had two week-long delays due to the pandemic. So the first one, we had a group of electricians test positive on the job, so we had to shut the job down, get those guys tested, get everybody off of the job, and then just go through the normal protocols that almost everybody's familiar with now, where you can't come back onto the job for 2 weeks. You have to bring a positive test. We've previously had been getting everybody's temperature before they go onto the job site, and that's really how we found the ones that tested positive. So we've had two kind of small outbreaks of that. So we had the first one about a month ago. Everybody left the job site for a week. Sabre took precautions to go to the site and have it completely sanitized and wiped down and washed down with a company from Austin that's very familiar with the whole process. We opened the site back up. Everything was good for a couple of weeks, and then we had a couple more people test positive. So we did the same thing, go through the same procedure, shut everything down, wouldn't let anybody back onto the site, and then had it sanitized, and then everybody came back to work again. And so right now, nobody's has a positive test. Everything's going forward just as planned before, but it did affect a couple of critical items because the guys we lost were electricians and MEP mechanical guys that we can't get ceilings finished without all the electrical and mechanical stuff in. So, and then also the elevator was delayed because of the same scenario. So we got a letter from Schindler Elevator saying that our process is going to be delayed due to the guys testing at the job site. So We had that. We let AI know. We rescheduled everything and have everything back on a schedule again. We have a walkthrough with one of the AI people, the president of operations, I think, tomorrow. So they will be in town tomorrow. We won't really be prepared for them 100%, as in what we'd planned for tomorrow, really, when we first scheduled this, was a walkthrough of the building for acceptance, and then they start moving their furniture in. Now it's just going to be a preliminary walkthrough for the building, and we pushed our walkthrough with Art Institute back till November the 30th. So we didn't want to do it and have everybody traveling because they're coming from out of town on Thanksgiving week, and so that's why we picked the 30th. We didn't really want to rush everything during that week, have everybody trying to travel the week of Thanksgiving, so we just picked the 30th to give everybody a little bit of time and not have to rush. And also, if you did cancel your flight and you're booking new reservations, and you have that time, extra time to rebook one at a better price. So that's kind of what's happened since the last time I talked to you guys. AI is fine with that. We did also push back their installations, low voltage and data installations, and not by our choice, that was by their choice. We offered to have them come in and work with everybody else, their subcontractor, but they chose to have them come in after the 30th. So they'll be installing low voltage furniture, all their fixtures, pretty much the month of December would be their time frame now. They're not going to have anybody in there prior to December, which is good and bad. We kind of preferred to work with their low voltage vendor, so just in case they need anything, we could have done it right then, but they'll just come in after the fact, and then we'll still provide people if they need them, but won't be any charges for it. Good news of that is there's still enough money in Saber's contract and funds and their buyout savings and the contingency that they're not charging us for the delay. They just want the time in their contract so that it reads that we've been pushed for these 2 weeks due to the COVID, and that we're not going to charge you extra GCs for it. So that's the upside for all of it. So everybody's really been working real well as far as creating all this new schedule and getting it all put together. So it's been a really teamwork, just as the whole job has been from the beginning. But that's the new date. So November 30th is going to be our official substantial completion date. We'll get a certificate of substantial completion from the architect, and then a sign off from Art Institute to accept the building. And punch list will be generated that day. Sabre will have a couple of weeks to get it finished, and then that'll be the end of the project for the construction piece of it, where that's concerned. So it's still really close, but not quite there. Safety-wise, I brought you some safety numbers. And I get these all the time. I didn't share them on my monthly reports, just that we hadn't had any accidents. But as of this morning, we've had 21 companies on the site. We've had 1,470 workers, different workers, since the beginning of the job, and as of this morning, 12,280 safe hours worked. And when I did the math on that earlier for the COVID test, it's 1% of our workers, so which is really about the average of what everybody's getting it. So we're right in the average as far as that. We did an excellent job, I feel, of the mask and the sanitation and all that. So I don't know if we could have done anything else, because the workers could have gotten it, contacted it anywhere. And we've kept it from, contained within our group there.
Yeah, there's no evidence that the virus was spread at the widow job site. It's more like just one person or two people had it.
Yeah, and it was, the first group was the mechanical guys, and so they all work together, of course, and they all ride from Austin together, so I can see that, and I was really surprised that just them the first time got it, and then the electricians went through it. And then nobody else has tested, and I've been testing, and Art's been testing, and so everybody's been getting a test, and they've all been negative, so we're in good shape, I think. the elevator presented some problems as far as getting a certificate of occupancy. So in talking to city building department, they will not issue certificate of occupancy without the elevator being final. So we can get a substantial completion, which is really what we need contractually for Sabre, to release Sabre from liquidated damages and things like that. But we can't get a certificate of occupancy until the state elevator inspector signs off on it. We booked or tried to book a date with him last week, and the process for it is we send in a request for inspection to Schindler Elevator. Schindler Elevator's inspectors then come out, make sure it'll pass, and then they call in once it passes to the state inspector, and then he comes out and inspects the elevator. So it's a 3-week process to do all of that. You just can't call the state inspector like we can for the MEP inspection to say, hey, can you be here tomorrow, and give you 24 hours notice, and he shows up. So we have to get into his schedule. So we've already turned in our request to Schindler. Schindler's coming out Wednesday next week, or excuse me, Wednesday this week, and then that request to the state fire marshal will go out. The snag in that is we have no idea when he's going to be coming. So we're just kind of in limbo with for the CFO until the state inspector comes out and inspects the elevator. It's been operational for over a week now, so we don't see any problems with it. The floor, we've got the floor installed into it, which is usually the only thing that doesn't come with the elevator. So everything's operational. We've been using it. We just have to get these inspections done. So the other thing with part of that is AI wants to use the elevator for furniture install. So we're looking at asking the Schindler to see if they'll come and operate the elevator for us so we can have them use the elevator for their install and kind of help them out a little bit. We have no idea what the costs are, but generally they're pretty high from Schindler to come operate that. So we'll see. We're going to make a request just to see if they'll turn it on for us and let us use it, and then we'll just have to be careful with the finishes in it. Any questions with any of that piece of it? Okay. I don't know really that I think I ran through almost everything kind of in that description. You guys don't have any questions? Yeah, I don't have anything else other than that schedule. Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, we're going to need to go into executive session because this isn't going to work. We'll go back to this somehow, but I know that I maybe got 20% of that. So I don't think there's any point in continuing under the circumstances. Let's go into executive session. Let's take care of all of our business. Let's come up with a resolution for coming back and finishing up anything that we need to. Surely we can figure out something. Okay, so the time is 3:24, and at this time we're going to go into executive session. From executive session, at this time we're picking up with the agenda. We are not going to, there'll be no action on 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, and 3.10. On 3.7, consideration, discussion, and possible action on Resolution 2020 and 0028 of the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation authorizing execution of an agreement with the City of Bastrop providing a partial reimbursement to the BEDC for COVID-19 relief grants. Cameron, you want to jump in on that for a minute?
Yes, this is to give grants to 2 of the hotels that were missed in the 3rd round by me. That was an error on my part in switching from one computer to another.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I move that we approve Resolution R 2020-0028 as written.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Thank you. All those approve?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 3.8, consideration, whoa, the computer just went way up. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on, my agenda just disappeared on my screen. My agenda just disappeared. Hold on one second. .8. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on resolution R 2020-0029 of the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation approving the distribution of the continuation of the third round of funds to City of Bastrop businesses to assist with the retention of employees, training of employees, and expansion of their business enterprise back to the levels sustained prior to COVID-19 pandemic and national disaster, at an amount not to exceed $10,000 per project per business. I believe this is once again a wrap up on the COVID grants.
Yeah, then I'll make a motion that we go ahead, that we approve resolution R 2020-0029 as written.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Thank you. All those approve?
Aye.
And opposed? And it passes unanimously. 3.9, consideration, discussion, and possible action on resolution R 2020-0030 of the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation approving a professional services agreement with Corex Utilities to conduct a sewer and wastewater study for the City of Bastrop's extraterritorial jurisdiction.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion on that one to approve the resolution R-2020-0030, but including in it an oversight of the BEDC treasurer, then as written.
I second that motion.
All right, all those approved? Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 3.10. No, we're passing on 3.10 at this time. 3.11, consideration, discussion, and possible action on resolution 2020-0032 of the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation approving an amended lease agreement with the Art Institutes for 921 Main Street.
Yeah, and then I'll make a motion on that one that we accept the resolution 2020-0032 as written.
I second that motion.
And then we also have, oh, those approved?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. 3.12. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on resolution R 2020-0033 of the Bastrop Economic Development Corporation approving a professional services agreement with the Community Action, Inc. of Central Texas in an amount not to exceed $15,000 to provide career advancement training and certification training programs, which include certifications in nursing, emergency medical training, bookkeeping, and Microsoft applications. Cameron, do you want to make a
I'll make a
comment on
motion
this
that we
one?
approve resolution R 2020-0033.
Okay.
And I second that motion.
All right, thank you. And all those approve? Those that oppose? Passes unanimously. Coming out of executive session, we do have a motion on the 4.3, section 551.074 personnel matters, annual review and evaluation of CEO.
Yes, and I'd like to make a motion that we amend the contract for compensation adjustment for the CEO based on the annual review.
And I second that motion.
Okay, and all those approve? Any opposition? Passes unanimously. So that is it. We are going to not have a meeting in December, but we're going to come back for our retreat in January. That doesn't mean the work will not continue, but I hope everybody stays safe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll reconnect soon enough. The time is 6:20. We're adjourned.